hopefully. Here we go. Hi, folks. Welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting of the 24th of May, 2023. I'm sorry for a little bit of the delay in getting everything started and set up. Mostly my fault. I couldn't find the password. Tried to scramble for like 10, 15 minutes to find my password, and it actually took 20. So sorry very much to get this going. And I am joined today by my by fellow Node.js TSC members, and welcome everybody. And so let's get started. Can somebody help with a little bit with the minutes, please, as well? Otherwise, I'll get that going. And so we have, okay, and then yeah, thank you very much. If somebody can help with that, that will be great. So we can get over. If everybody can mark themselves as present, that would be fantastic too. Amazing. So let's start with the agenda. Okay, we have. We have. Let's start. Are there any announcements?
There is one in the issue.
Let
me see. Is okay, the TSC elections.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, that's probably an announcement. So hey, hello. Michael Dawson is being elected as chair, and I'm Matteo Collina. Hello. I've been elected as vice chair of the Node.js Technical Steering Committee. So thank you, thank all of you for the trust and for making sure that and I don't know. Thank you for the trust. I think that's a good thing. So okay, Michael Dawson. And Dawson has been. I'm filling the minutes in the meanwhile. Been voted. Well, is the only candidate for chair. Only candidate for vice chair. Okay, great. I have a little bit of an update from the board meetings and stuff. I don't think I was in a TSC meeting since coming back from Vancouver, so I have a few things to report. Well, I have one important thing to report. There has been at the OpenJS as part of our work in the Cross-Project Council, we proposed some changes to the bylaws of the foundation to simplify certain things. And everything is essentially summarized in this issue, in this pull request 1055 in as part of the CPC and the bylaws to guarantee more project representation in the board. More or less, this is the issue, and also simplify certain things that are complex anyway. So I'm just mentioning it. Okay, no big. But it's important for you to check it out because originally some of those things were added for us. Some of those provisions were added for Node.js and things. So it's important that we figure them out. Okay, so let's go in and start the usual issue lists. There are a few issues on the Node.js TSC repo. One is the first one, moderation team annual recertification. And currently the moderation team is composed of Antoine Duhamel, Benjamin Grunenbaum, Claudio Wunder, Forrest L. Norvell, Ryan H. Lewis, and Rich Trott, and John Titor. And it's 7 people. And there is a mention from Benjamin asking other people if they want to join on the moderation team. Please join if you think you can be a good addition to the group. That would be fantastic. It's currently this has been upvoted by 11 people, and I think that is quorum. I don't know how many we are, but thanks by one. Anybody can please make sure that you have voted this?
Well, there's also Antoine, which set his eyes there. I guess he didn't want to vote, so.
Yeah, he doesn't want, so 12 people and Antoine doesn't want to vote. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess if we count it, it's a majority.
Yeah, it's a majority, okay.
It also says a vote's not necessary unless someone actually actively opposes it. So
yeah, but
yeah.
Anyway, it's okay. So approved in the TSC meeting. Certified, recertified in the TSC meeting. Okay, close with comment. And thank you for all the hard work. Okay, so this is done. Then there is issue 1376, adding the OpenJS Foundation staff as billing manager for Node Private. So I opened this issue on this, okay, and there was some discussion going on, but I think it got stalled for some reason. So the key concept here is that we always run out of resources in our GitHub Enterprise for Node.js Private. And partially part of this, it's because we run the full Node.js GitHub Actions in there. And they, especially the one for Mac, are very expensive. And yeah. That's kind of it. Okay. And oh, sorry, the foundation has started to be set up as billing manager for certain projects. For example, in Webpack, they are set up as billing manager so that they can pay, for example, for code spaces for people that want to contribute to the project.
What action we are waiting for?
So the question is, so there was an ask essentially from Abby, from GitHub, asking, well, can we optimize them? Okay, like to some extent, we are currently running the build on Mac, for example, and maybe we don't need that.
Yes.
Okay, this is a question of, currently we run that on Mac, and the Mac one, I don't know, like we have test Mac OS X, and we might decide to disable it or remove it entirely.
Yeah, for the private. I think.
But I don't. Can we disable it only for private? That's the question.
I think so. I think we can disable workflows on a per workflow basis.
Yeah.
Do we use Jenkins?
Nope.
Not until we lock the CI down.
Mhm.
So the reason we lock the CI down is to prevent any possibility of premature leakage of things that are being fixed or worked on. It may be possible to configure Jenkins and Access in such a way to completely lock it down, but that's really complicated because of we're potentially fanning out onto like dozens of machines that would all equally need to be secured somehow. So our approach for security releases, where this is stuff that's being worked on in the Node code base, is that patches are developed in this private repo, and that might take some time and iterations to get those patches in a what we think is a ready state, but that at the moment is only being tested with the GitHub Actions that are being run in the private repo, and that's the reason that we are running out of minutes a lot, because depending on the activity in that repository, so people are working on pull requests in the private repo. Every time they push, it triggers action runs, which do get cancelled if another run gets pushed. If more pushes are done and a run still is in progress. But equally, the more times people push, potentially the more minutes we're chewing up. But yeah, the reason we lock the CI down just before a release is that's the first time that we can actually run the full CI on all the platforms we support on those patches. And some of the difficulties or stresses in getting security releases out is that sometimes we find things on Jenkins that we haven't spotted before. But the actions are useful because we definitely have spotted issues in potential patches through the action runs. I can't say off the top of my head whether any of those were Mac specific. So it could be that we could stop the Mac and just rely on testing on, say, Linux.
Let's try that. I would disable Windows and Mac OS, and then let's see how it goes.
And I'm happy to test that. And if we need more time testing, if we decide we need time testing on those platforms, then maybe we have a longer CI lockdown prior to release.
No, well, it is just to be honest, I'm not like if this is something we need to get the foundation to pay for, I'm happy to raise that flag and have them pay for it. Like there is right now, there is for various reasons money for this kind of security work. So I'm not, if it's needed, it's needed. Okay, it's.
Did we ever revisit whether it's possible to do the security workflow through like the public repository, but with the GitHub has the ability to do security branches for patches. That wasn't there when we first set up everything. So I don't know.
So
whether the sort of minutes then would count as
the minute there would not. So they don't run GitHub Actions at all.
Oh, at all. Okay.
So it's even worse than what we have right now. Like they don't run.
Okay.
So which makes it almost useless for a lot of use cases. For most use case, bar the simplest projects, that it makes it more or less useless on that feed. Like there's a big gap in their system. Like they don't run actions. So how do you test them? Whatever. I'm sorry. It's.
I think we don't run Windows besides coverage, so that would make Mac and Windows.
We run the build, so we don't run the test. So we would at least spot, for example, if we've broken the compilation.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not like we run all platforms before we want to create a release. So if we haven't found any issues with Windows with this method. So
yeah, let's try that and let's see how it goes. Okay. This is the only gist that I can try.
Just a comment. When we create, maybe can we run a workflow for a specific pull request, like just for the proposal? I don't think so, right? But we'll be covered by the Jenkins CI.
Yeah, it will be covered by Jenkins CI. Also, if you want, you could enable it manually on the GitHub action of the node private while when you're starting assembling the releases, if you want to.
All right.
Like you can turn on it. You are an owner and you can turn on and off. It's very easy. Okay, so I cannot screen share it, but it's very easy. You click on the action and there is in the dot menu there is a disable workflow. So it would be cool if even on the public one we only run Mac on very specific case, because from talking to GitHub, it seems that Mac is actually very, very costly for them. So it's probably better to not run it if for every PR being open. So there is a case of we can possibly just disable Mac everywhere.
I guess if it's going to be in the minutes, I could try and work on that. I'll remember.
Okay.
Like adding a label or something to trigger that.
Adding?
I suggested we could trigger the Mac workflow when a specific label is present instead of always. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I guess with the public repository, if it's like a non-doc change, you need a full Jenkins CI run anyway. So you might as well run the Mac build on Jenkins. I don't know, for example, that again, that the Mac builds for doc only changes give you anything over the Linux builds. So, you know, we could just turn it off as a simplest solution. If we then decide that we are missing something by not having that on, then we can maybe look at more complicated setups for re-enable them on a case-by-case basis. But that sounds like a complication that we're not sure we actually need at this moment in time. I mean, if you want to work on it, I'm not going to stop you. It just doesn't feel like it's a place that I think
I agree.
People would actually even have you know, some inkling as to, well, when should I run this then if it's not being run automatically. So I think better just to turn, you know, if it really is costing, then turn it off and just rely on the Linux builds.
Yeah, I think that probably will be
I was really surprised when we looked at the costing, how much more expensive it is to run on. I mean, yeah, Windows is slightly more than Linux, but Macs were like 3 or 4 times the cost, which is huge. So yeah, I think this issue, that there were 2 asks, wasn't there? One was adding that person as the billing manager, and I don't think anyone opposes that.
No, but the question is, we add them for one reason, okay? Otherwise, makes no sense, okay? So if we have nothing to pay for, we don't add them. So
I think even if we turn off the Mac and Windows builds, we can't say for definite that we wouldn't use up all of the minutes. I mean, the minutes are finite. So depending on how much activity we have in the private repo, we may still run out of minutes. We hope we don't. We hope it would happen less often by turning off those platforms. But I think it would be good to have the ability to be able to reach out to get more. I mean, in the past, I think it's all been very ad hoc by pestering someone like Miles, someone within GitHub to reset the limits or bump them up. So if this is a more
I can take the action of getting them added and then put a small budget on it. Okay.
Sounds good.
And then let's see why, like, I don't know, $100 a month, and see how it plays out. Okay. Will do. And Raphael, the next one is on you. It's a Grace Hopper Open Source Day.
Yeah, I'm planning to have a created list in private for the next week. I'll be Daniel sent me a message also telling that would like to help. So I will create a private guest or something and share it on TSC and plus the volunteers, and we will maintain the curated list there, almost 50 issues, good first issues, or not exactly issues, but something that someone could work on.
Cool. Okay. So what's the next step? Did you get accepted, by the way?
Not, but I believe there is a really small chance to not be accepted.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Makes absolute sense. Okay. Great. And yeah, and then the last one is issue 1178, CLI2 behind the Node.js namespace. Is there anybody familiar with it? Was Node.js core, right? Node core. I don't know what is the question. I don't know what the question, probably just for visibility. So does anybody know anything to talk about this one?
I think they wanted to discuss the migration plan of existing NPM packages into the scoped packages, but that's kind of an educated guess. So it should probably discuss this on the next meeting.
Yeah, I will push it to the next meeting. Like I don't know exactly what's the question. Okay. Amazing. Are there any other business to talk about? No? So I think, is there anything to talk about the strategic initiatives? No? Okay, amazing. I would say the next meeting is next Wednesday, I think. Anyway, I don't know. Check out the calendar, nodejs.org/calendar. You can find all our meetings. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for my fellow TSC members for being here. Can you stay on for like 5 minutes after I will probably talk a little bit about one thing? And thank you very much for everybody watching on the live stream. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.